Tonight on KVR News, worse than hell. Thousands feared dead as a massive typhoon hits the Philippines.
How a car smash can raise money for cancer. I'm John Scott, and coming up, I'll show you what one student organization did after cancer hit one of their own.
And Austinites having fun. A look at the weekend's festival.
You're watching KVR News, Austin's leader for live local UT coverage.
Broadcasting live from the Texas Student Television Studios at the University of Texas. You're watching KVR News at 9, Austin's leader for live local UT coverage. Your news starts right now.
Good evening. You're watching KVR News on this Veterans Day, November 11th. I'm Catherine Walker.
And I'm Leslie Adamy. Thanks for tuning in tonight.
It's now less than a year until voters across the state head to the polls, and the race for the governor's mansion is starting to heat up.
Senator Wendy Davis and Texas Attorney General Greg Abbott both filed official paperwork to run for office on Saturday. Davis filed at the flagship office of UShip, an online shipping marketplace, while Abbott made it official at the Republican Party of Texas HQ. Both candidates signed the papers alongside supporters and volunteers. Each has their own different platforms they plan to stick to throughout the campaigns. Abbott says he will stand by his conservative beliefs, while Davis proposes a more liberal take on what Texas's future has to offer. Davis says she's not running from the issue that brought her national attention, saying, "I will never back away from the position that I hold, that women should be legal and safe." Meanwhile, Abbott says that we have an obligation to protect the safety, health, and welfare of every single Texan, including women. Election Day is November 4th of next year. Recovery efforts continue after devastating flash flooding nearly 2 weeks ago. Austin Mayor Lee Leffingwell declared a local state of disaster last Monday, and FEMA staff are expected to announce a decision in the next few days on whether the city's request for assistance meets federal requirements. Take a look at this map of the Austin-Travis County Emergency Operations Center, showing the initial damage assessment along part of Onion Creek in southeast Austin. The creek reached 41 feet high, and the flow rate was for a time, nearly double the average rate of Niagara Falls. That flood along Onion Creek damaged more than 600 homes. Victims of the flooding attended an emergency town hall meeting last week to discuss the city's delay in notifying residents. A sensor along the creek was supposed to send information about the water level every 15 minutes, but it failed that morning from the sheer force of the rapidly rising water. Incorrect readings meant city responders thought they had 2 hours to notify residents, when in reality, they only had 2 minutes. A water gauge in the area measured a water level rise of 11 feet in just 15 minutes, a record for Onion Creek. The American Red Cross of Central Texas continues to take in donations for the flood victims. To make an online donation, you can go to redcross.org. You can also donate by calling 1-800-RED-CROSS or texting the word Red Cross to 90999 to make a $10 donation. Devastation in the Philippines after one of the strongest typhoons ever recorded hits the island country. More than 10,000 people are feared dead in one city alone after Typhoon Haiyan, also called Typhoon Yolanda, hit the area on Friday. Many of the displaced survivors don't have food, water, or medicine. Wind gusts reached up to 235 miles per hour, equivalent to a Category 5 Atlantic hurricane. Officials say more than 9.5 million people were affected by the storm, and authorities are still trying to get to remote islands that no one has been able to communicate with since Friday. Tourists describe the devastation, saying it looks like it's the end of the world. U.S. Marines and sailors are headed to the Philippines to help provide emergency supplies. The storm also went on to hit Vietnam and southern China. The legendary Rise and Fall of cyclist Lance Armstrong is now in Austin theaters. The Armstrong Live documentary initially started as a Triumph story back in 2008. Back then, Armstrong had 7 Tour de France wins in the bag, and he was recognized as one of Times Magazine's 100 most influential people of 2008. Last year's news of the cyclist's doping offenses meant the documentary was turned on its head, as Armstrong went to director Alex Gibney to set the record straight about his career. Austinites can find screenings at the Violet Crown Cinema and the Regal Arbor Theater. Student Government's Orange Outreach kicked off its Feed Texas food drive today, benefiting the Capital Area Food Bank. SG is hoping to turn the drive into one of UT's signature service projects.
Any non-perishable food items can be donated, but the primary needs this year are canned meats like tuna, stew and chili, canned vegetables, pasta and pasta sauce, beans and peanut butter. Orange Outreach Director Robert Swoboda said they're looking for more than double what they had collected last year.
We raised about 4,000 pounds of food last year for Capital Area Food Bank. So the goal this year is to raise 10,000 pounds. And it's really just a way for student government to get involved with students on campus and really show civic engagement, student involvement, serve the Austin community.
You can donate cans at several drop-off locations around campus. Those locations are the Student Government Office, the University Penahelic Council Houses, Gregory Gym, Jester Center, the 4th floor of the SSB, the north end zone of DKR, and the Tejas House. The food drive will continue through November 21st.
Fun, fun, fun as festival goers head to Auditorium Shores.
And smashing for a cause, why one student organization is destroying this car. You're watching KVR News.
You're watching KVR News at 9. Your campus, your news.
Welcome back to KVR News. Last Thursday, the College of Communication was officially renamed after a huge donation from the Moody Foundation. The now Moody College of Communication received $50 million to fund undergraduate and graduate initiatives, as well as a sky bridge connecting the CMA to the Below Center for New Media. KVR News was at the official celebration on Wednesday to ask students what the Moody gift means to them.
This isn't just a monetary gift. I think this is a true investment from leadership and from people outside of UT Austin into the future.
Last year we were blessed to get the Below building, and now it's just like, not only do we have a building, but we have a name. And just to go out there and say that I am a graduate of the newly named Moody College of Communication is a huge honor. I feel like they are giving us an identity.
The College of Communication isn't the only college at UT receiving donations. The Institute for Computational Engineering and Sciences is receiving a $9.3 million donation from the O'Donnell Foundation. The monetary gift will be spread out over the next 5 years and will go towards the program's endowment funds, increasing graduate fellowships, and hiring new faculty members. Peter O'Donnell Jr. and his foundation have given $140 million to UT over the past 30 years. Well, many organizations here at UT are about building bonds and strengthening friendships. John Scott shows us how one organization is wrecking cars to support one of their members.
Weston Boozing was a junior at UT when he received news that would forever change his life.
I was diagnosed with renal cell carcinoma. So it's kidney cancer basically. And since then I've just been doing radiation and chemo and had a couple surgeries to remove it surgically, and that's where I am today.
Weston is in Absolute Texas, a social organization here on the 40 acres. When the other members found out he was diagnosed with cancer, they wanted to help by hosting a car smash to raise money for Weston and cancer research.
Cancer right in front of you, hit it!
For $1, participants smash a used 1998 Volvo with a sledgehammer. Former service director Kat Loader came up with the smashing idea.
Once we all found out that Weston was diagnosed with cancer, it really hit us all hard because he's one of the members in Absolute Texas that really stands out and like makes people be the best people they could possibly be in the group. We really wanted it to be all out and everything, give it back to the person that always gives back to us.
Boozing's closest friends make sure the car smash is a huge success.
I think it's a unique way to raise money and get attention on campus. It's kind of messy, but everybody has a good time.
It was pretty cool just to be out there and see everybody doing that for cancer in general, but for me, myself, I was pretty honored for them to do that.
John Scott, KVR News.
Lululemon founder Chip Wilson came under fire this week after saying the brand's popular yoga pants are not for everyone because some women just don't have the bodies for them. In a statement with Bloomberg TV last week, Wilson said, "They don't work for some women's bodies. It's really about the rubbing through the thighs. How much pressure is there over a period of time and how much they use it." Wilson has since apologized for his remarks, saying, "I'm sad for the people at Lululemon who I care so much about, and they have had to face the brunt of my actions." Abercrombie & Fitch is another clothing brand known for keeping larger sizes off the racks, but they may be turning a new leaf. The company announced it will launch a plus-size line in the upcoming months in an effort to bring in more customers and keep up with competition. Other stores like American Eagle Outfitters and Forever 21 have already incorporated plus sizes into their clothing lines. Abercrombie is expected to begin introducing the new larger sizes in the spring. The annual Fun Fest took over Auditorium Shores this weekend and, as usual, brought Austin's trademark weirdness. This year's headliners included Snoop Lion, aka Snoop Dogg, MGMT, MIA, and Ice-T. The festival included music, a comedy tent, wrestling ring, skate ramp, local artists creating artworks live, the infamous taco cannon, and even haircuts. The once small festival has grown into a 3-day festival in the recent years. Many locals now use the festival as a way of showing off art, music, and clothing to new fans and buyers.
Well, there was beautiful fall-like weather for the festival this weekend, but get ready for some changes. I've got some very cool temperatures in the forecast.
Have a news tip or story idea? Call the KVR News Tip Line, 475-8181.
Well, welcome back to KVR News. I'm Keen Guess. Well, Austinites, bundle up because it's about to get cold as the cold front rips through Texas. In fact, so cold that Texas may be getting its first freeze of the season tomorrow night. Tomorrow we'll see temperatures drop to the mid-50s with a low of 54 tomorrow morning. So make sure you bring a jacket for your morning commutes. But hold on to them because we're going to see a high of 59 degrees by early afternoon. This is when Texas will be receiving that cold front. By Wednesday morning, it will be frighteningly frosty with a low of 57. Luckily, we'll be with a low of 37. Luckily, we will have a bright sun for the majority of the day, bringing us up to a high of 57. However, that will be temporary because we'll be seeing the temperature drop even more on Thursday to a low of 35. So, Austin will just be missing that freeze, but surrounding areas may be hit with freezing temperatures. It will warm up as the day progresses, and we will see some mild temperatures up in the upper 60s by afternoon. By Friday, we'll see the temperatures pick back up to a low of 51 degrees and a high of 71. Be on the lookout for some clouds and potentially some late showers. We'll be looking at some similar temperatures on Saturday, but we'll see our chances of scattered showers and thunderstorms increase throughout the day. By Sunday, we may see a possible morning shower interrupting an otherwise pleasant day with a temperature of low of 55 and a high of 76. So, Longhorns, make sure to bundle up and bring an umbrella with you as the week progresses. Live from the Weather Center, Keen Gass, KVR News.
Thank you, Kian. Well, you know, I kind of like the weather the way it is now. I'm not sure I'm ready for it to get that cold yet.
I'm a fan of the colder weather, so I'm ready for it.
You'll be enjoying this week then.
Definitely.
Coming up, 2 Longhorns are out for the remainder of the season.
And College Press Box's Bryce Gibson is here after the break to look at how it could affect the team.
Now, KVR News at 9 Sports.
Welcome back to KVR News. I'm College Press Box's Bryce Gibson. Texas played its first overtime game in the Mack Brown era against West Virginia in Morgantown on Saturday. So let's head out to Milan-Pusker Stadium for this week's highlights. Well, it didn't get off to a good start, as you can see right there. Anthony Fair, the punt is blocked, and just like that, West Virginia's up 2-0, and they would add on to that lead right here as Charles Sims puts it in the end zone for the score. All of a sudden, 9-0, Texas in a big hole early. Right now, 1st and 10, West Virginia still has the ball, but Desmond Jackson with a big sack and fumble right there. Texas takes over, they'd get a field goal. So 9-3 is the score. 3rd down for Texas. Malcolm Brown powers his way into the end zone, and Texas takes the lead 10-9. So now, same score. 2nd and 2, West Virginia with the ball. Sims, he's going to cut it to the right and get into the end zone a second time. West Virginia goes back ahead. Still second quarter. The pressure, a factor once again, and a fumble. Texas recovers and gets another field goal. So 19-13 now. West Virginia is still leading. The pressure once again is a factor. Adrian Phillips with the interception. He's going to take this inside the 10, but Texas would only get a field goal. A problem in this game. Now West Virginia still ahead. And who else but Sims? His third touchdown of the day, and West Virginia gets their biggest lead, 10 points. Now, 2nd and 10 from the 50. McCoy looking deep for Mike Davis, and he's going to hit him for the touchdown. And Texas pulls within 3. Huge play right there. Now, 3rd quarter. Texas trying to go up. Bergeron with the ball. Too easy. Bergeron gives Texas the lead, but they would fall behind, and it would be up to Jackson Shipley to regain the lead. What a catch. That might have been the play of the night. So here we are, Texas now leading 37-33. Millard dropping back. He hits Mario Alford, and he's going to take this one all the way. Where is the defense? Nowhere on that play, and that's going to give West Virginia another lead in the 4th quarter. But thanks to a Case McCoy drive, he would set up this field goal from Anthony Farah to send it to overtime. So in overtime, Texas, 3rd down. Play action pass to Alex De La Torre. That's going to give them the lead. So West Virginia, they have to score or the ball game ends. And Steve Edmond, he gets the interception. Texas wins. They are now 6-0 in the Big 12. Well, with that victory, Texas now finds themselves ranked at number 24 in the BCS standings. Other notable Big 12 teams include Baylor at number 5, Oklahoma State at 12, and OU at number 18. Topping the standings, no surprise there, Alabama at number 1.
So Bryce, with the loss of Chris Whaley and Jonathan Gray, both are ruled out for the rest of the season. What does this mean in the final 3 games for Texas this year?
Well, these are definitely 2 key players, but one thing that Texas does have at those positions is depth. Jonathan Gray was their number 1 running back, was their leading rusher, but guys like Malcolm Brown, Joe Bergeron, who we both saw score in that highlight, I think can definitely take up the slack. As far as Chris Whaley, that's a big loss, and you got to feel for a kid like that. This was his senior year. You saw it in the game. He knew this was his last time to ever put on a Texas jersey. He knew he was out for the season. The guy had 2 touchdowns on the year from defense. That's huge. But, I mean, Desmond Jackson really stepped in well in that game, and I really feel that he's going to be a good addition to the Longhorns to help them win.
All right, thank you, Bryce. All right, Wendy joins us next with this week's entertainment news. Wendy, what's on the rundown tonight?
Well, move aside, Wizarding World of Harry Potter. A new theme park may be in the works. And Tom Cruise said what about soldiers in Afghanistan? Stay tuned to find out. You're watching KVR News.
You're watching KVR News at 9. Your campus, your news.
Welcome back to KVR News. I'm Wendy Reichstein. The 62nd Miss Universe pageant gave Gabriela Isler of Venezuela the new title of Miss Universe. Her win marks the 7th title of Miss Universe for Venezuela. When asked how she felt after the win, Isler said, "I have a lot of emotions. I can't describe all of the things that I feel at this moment because I'm shaking. I'm still in shock. I feel so blessed, so happy to be here." Patricia Urena Rodriguez from Spain and Constania Baez from Ecuador won 1st and 2nd runner-up, respectively. Isler succeeds former Miss Universe Olivia Culpo from the United States. And few would argue that acting rivals the suffering of war, but this week Hollywood A-lister Tom Cruise did just that. Cruise recently attended a deposition for his $50 million libel lawsuit against a magazine that claimed he abandoned his young daughter Suri. During the deposition, Cruise allegedly compared shooting on location to serving a tour in Afghanistan. Cruise's lawyer has since come forward and defended the star's statement, claiming that it was taken out of context from a private deposition, but that hasn't stopped fans from speaking out, claiming the comment was insensitive. Well, Catching Fire held its premiere Monday night in London, and soon fans may have their chance in the arena. Lionsgate CEO John Feldheimer recently announced plans for a Hunger Games theme park. The movie company is currently looking into 2 territories for the potential park, which is already being compared to the popular Wizarding World of Harry Potter. The 2nd film installment of the Hunger Games series, Catching Fire, starring Oscar winner Jennifer Lawrence, as well as Josh Hutcherson and Liam Hemsworth, opens a week from Friday. That's all your entertainment news this week. I'm Wendy Reichstein.
Thanks, Wendy, and thanks for joining us tonight. I'm Catherine Walker.
And I'm Leslie Adamy. For news and weather updates throughout the week, you can follow us on Twitter at KVR News. Stay tuned for College Press Box up next on Texas Student Television. Have a good night.